Have you ever walked into a room and perhaps felt a sudden shift in the energy, but at the same time you couldn't quite put your fingers on it? Why was it? Or perhaps maybe you look at yourself in the mirror and all you see is average. But the world treats you and tells you a completely different story. Hola, amores, and welcome back to the channel. And to those who don't know me, I am Maritza, currently a graduate master's student in psychology. Today, we are talking about those signs that mean you are a very highly attractive person, okay? According to psychology. Let's get right into it. I will share with you a saying in Spanish that goes like this. La belleza no está en el físico, donde todos la buscan, sino en el corazón, donde pocos saben llegar. And it means real beauty is not on the outside, where everyone is looking, but rather on the inside, in our hearts, where very few know how to find. So, my friends, as a master's student in psychology, I can tell you that attractiveness is often much more behavioral mirroring and cognitive biases than it is about a specific type of look. Because most highly attractive people actually have zero idea, have no idea how they are and how the world perceives them, because they are viewing themselves from the inside, while the world is reacting to only their presence, what they see in the outside. So, my loves, the first sign you are very attractive is because usually what you get from people is what they call the polarization effect. All right, and that just means you normally experience either extreme reaction from outsiders, some of them being very kind, or others just being extremely cold, very, very cold. So, when you're highly attractive, people rarely feel neutral about you. That is a reality. And you'll notice that strangers are either over the top helpful, maybe holding your door, smiling, trying to start conversations with you, or in the opposite, they are oddly cold and they're very dismissive. In psychology, this is often due to the halo effect versus the intimidation. People either subconsciously project positive traits onto you because they find you attractive, or they feel a sense perhaps of social threat, sometimes even envy, which causes them to act out or maybe ignore you or maybe just act defensive with you. And that's just their own mechanism. So if you find people rarely have a whatever kind of reaction to you, then that is a sign that your presence is very powerful. Sign number 2 is that you usually get lack of compliments. And I know this one sounds a bit counterintuitive. However, no, not really, because this is a classic psychological phenomenon. Highly attractive people often receive much fewer compliments on their physical appearance than average-looking people. And why, you may ask yourself? Well, because the world assumes that you already know. That's exactly what they assume. People think that they probably hear how beautiful they are, how handsome they are all the time, 10 times a day. And really, this person right here does not want to be the 11th person saying it to you. Or they might feel that complimenting you is just so redundant, all right? If people tend perhaps to compliment your achievements or your personality, but stay quiet about your face, it is often because your attractiveness is taken as a given. Sign number 3 is the eye contact glitch. And this just means that you either get an intense eye contact or a total avoidance from people. And the way you find out is perhaps when you're out and about talking to people, begin to watch people's eyes when you speak to them, when you speak to each other. Because highly attractive individuals tend to trigger one of the two biological responses. One is the deep stare, like that, like mesmerized stare, or the immediate look away, as if they were angry or upset. If you notice people hold eye contact with you just a second too long enough to feel a bit charged, it's because their brain's reward systems are literally enjoying the visuals that you're giving them. On the flip side, if you perhaps catch people looking at you and then they quickly snap or they turn their heads around and they turn away, like in a panic mode, it's because they were caught admiring you and felt a surge of social anxiety. Both are indicators that you have a high visual gravity. Sign number 4, you're highly attractive, is about what they call the competence bias. And this just means that people assume that you are naturally capable of everything. And this is what? This is a byproduct of the halo effect, which I mentioned earlier in the video. Studies show that what? That we subconsciously attribute positive qualities like what? Like intelligence, kindness, and competence to people we find attractive. So, for example, do people seem shocked when you make a mistake? Realize that. Do people assume that you have all your life together even when you feel like it's a complete mess? Yeah. If the people around you are surprised by your flaws, it's because your physical packaging is signaling a high level of fitness and capability. Everything positive to their brains. They expect you to be great because you look great. And the final sign I will mention today of being a highly attractive person is one where people, what? They just open up to you so easy, very easily. Researchers suggest that we find attractive faces a lot more trustworthy, even if that isn't always true. So, if you, my loves, if you, my friends, if you find strangers perhaps telling you their stories, their lifelong stories, perhaps at a bus stop, maybe coworkers are sharing secrets with you almost immediately without even knowing you that much, it's because your attractiveness lowers their psychological guard. And perhaps you have what we call the approachable magnetism. And that happens because people want to naturally be in your orbit. That's what happens. And they use conversations as a way to stay around your orbit. So, anyways, my friends, you need to know that attractiveness is just a tool, and the most beautiful thing you can do with that tool is to carry it with awareness. Carry it with awareness and understand the ways you impact others. Whether you're using your beauty for magnetism, to build a career, to create something nice, to find love, or just make new friends, remember that your value starts from within. And with this, we have reached the end of today's video, but I invite all of you to connect with me through Instagram. Go and check out my other music relaxing channel here on YouTube, and go and see the channel's membership just in case you find it useful. Once again, I am Maritza. I know that I will try my best to continue always bring you ways on how to create a better bond with yourself and a more meaningful relationship with all those around you. Mwah. Till next time. Ciao, ciao, my loves. Ciao, ciao. My amores.